Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my first Battlefield Hardline video. So the beta has just launched. I've been playing about 2 hours so far, so I figured throw up my first video, do my first impressions, or very limited first impressions, and give you a first look. Unfortunately, Fraps doesn't actually work with the beta at the moment, so I couldn't actually get FPS footage for this video. But in later videos we'll have some frame rate so you can see what it's like. But it averages around 60. It really dips down to 55, 56 and back up and down. So it's very smooth overall. And I'm playing at Ultra at the start. But it didn't feel exactly like 60 FPS. So I'd drop it down to high later on in the gameplay. So these are just the settings I figured we'd take a look at. They're identical to the settings in Battlefield 4. So that's pretty cool as well. Now we'll have a quick look at all the loadouts and classes before we move on. So as you can see, the system is kind of different, and you can choose whatever class you want from here, and it gives you a predefined loadout which you can then change. And as you may notice, all the guns and etc require money. So how that works is basically every time you do something in the game, you kill someone, you get an assist, you capture an objective, etc, you get money for it. And the more money you get, obviously you can buy more gear. That's generally how it works. So we're starting with the operator class, which is the medic, and we're using the first assault rifle here, which I have to say, the first thing when I jumped into the game and started shooting it, realized it has horrible recoil. I mean, up close that's not a problem because it has 800 rounds per minute, so it literally just downs enemies left, right and center when you're up close. But the further away you get, the thing kicks like a mule, and it's really hard to control. But you can get the M16A3 for about $30,000, so you know, you just save up for that and you'll be grand. But overall, my first impressions of the game when I jumped into it, so far pretty good. I mean, it looks decent. I mean, this is the beta, so it's obviously going to look better when it's finally finished next month, and it just runs really well, I gotta say. I haven't noticed any major problems like with the Battlefield 4 when that launched. Huge netcode problems there. I'm not saying this doesn't have netcode problems, I'm just saying not as noticeable. So we're going to test out a lot of the other guns as well. Maybe not through this video, we'll see how it goes. And if you're wondering, we're actually playing Conquest on Dust Bowl. I figured it was the only actual game I could get into when I was joining up, but I've got some really good footage of Heist, which is fast turning into my favourite game mode, at least that they've shown us so far. So the games that are available to us right now to play are Conquest, Conquest Large, Heist and Hotwire. And so far I haven't played Hotwire yet. That's the only game mode I haven't touched yet, which I will be playing soon after I do this video. But Heist is amazing. It's literally like Rush, and actually, you know, I'll save that for another video when I'm talking about it, but it's a very good game mode. Now, a lot of people would have concerns with this game about how the team would fit into the game. And actually, we're trying out the professional class here, which is the recon. And look right here, right? I clearly hit that guy in the head after he just spawned. So there's clearly spawn protection in the game, which is kind of disappointing. But anyway, a lot of people are concerned about how the team affects the game. I gotta say, it kind of does fit, especially when you're playing things like Heist, which is like Rush, and Hotwire. Conquest, I'm not so sure about, but you know, it's just fun to play, so that doesn't really bother me too much. And it plays the same as Conquest in Battlefield 4, except that there aren't really any tanks, which I prefer, to be honest, because you're not dying every second due to some unstoppable mass, you know. So it's really good. Also, I wanted to show you this, guys. This is a bit of Levolution on Dust Bowl. It's sort of like the one on the Gulf of Oman, if you remember that. The big storm comes in, and it's not unlike that at all. Like, even the colors are pretty similar, and it's rather cool looking, but at the same time it's kind of distracting, especially if you're trying to snipe. It makes it very difficult because you can only see a certain distance in front of you. Now, watching it on YouTube, it might look like you have a bigger amount of view than you have, or view distance, but you don't really. Anyway, another thing is, I really like the art style of this game. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Battlefield Bad Company 2. I know, that's probably just me, but when I jumped into the game first, That's what this map reminded me of anyway. Of course, a more enhanced version of Bad Company 2, but nonetheless, it did remind me of that. So I just thought that's pretty cool, and let me know if you guys agree or if I'm just completely wrong in that respect. Also guys, let me know if what you want to see me test next, you know, what game modes you want to see or specific kind of guns and stuff like that, and I'll try and unlock them, etc, etc, you know. Feedback is always important, and also let me know what you think of it so far. You know, I know this commentary has been a bit random and, you know, all over the place, but I just wanted to get a quick impressions out because I think a lot of you guys are going to be surprised and pleasantly surprised at how the beta has turned out, and how wrong some of your expectations might have been, because a lot of people seem to say that it's just like, you know, a BF4 DLC essentially, like and we shouldn't have to pay for it, at least to the extent that we do. But really, it's actually, you'll see, like, it's a very enjoyable game, and I mean, there are problems with it, of course, everything has their problems, but it's still a lot of fun, and hopefully they'll be able to improve upon the problems when the game finally comes out. But let me know if you're interested in playing, if you have played it, and what you think of it. Thanks guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more Battlefield Hardline gameplay. Have a great day.